Unfortunately, there are people in our lives who enjoy hurting others and making things difficult. You could be spending time with someone and trusting them, only to find out they are the reason for your trouble. Today we go into more detail about a subject. Understanding the warning signs that someone is hazardous is both interesting and scary. These people can be masters of lying, whether it's a co-worker, a friend, or even a family member. Today we're not just looking at people who hide who they really are behind charm and confidence. This bad side of human behavior, out of interest in how these signs work. The Stoics believed in the power of perception, which they said could change your life, and how important it is to live a good life based on reason. By finding and being aware of these negative traits, we can keep our peace of mind and build better relationships, keeping true to the Stoic ideas of being wise and controlling yourself. Stay with us as we reveal 5 signs that someone's bad. After this video, you'll notice these behaviors not only better, but you will also learn practical strategies to safeguard your mental health and well-being. If you like what we're doing here, please let us know. Please do me a small favor by clicking the subscribe button. Please don't skip any part of the movie. You won't want to miss our bonus part. Here, I will discuss how to effectively establish clear boundaries with these individuals. Let's go on this road of becoming more self-aware and strong together. It's important to keep this in mind when we talk about people who seem outstanding at first glance. That looks can be deceiving. These people often have a way of making a place feel better. They know just what to say to make everyone feel important and loved. That person looks so great at first glance that you feel like you've just made a new best friend. It is effortless to be seduced by their charm, as they are amusing, intriguing, and appear to be invested in your well-being. But the Stoics teach us to look deeper than the surface when we think we've found someone truly special, and look for the truth over time through careful thought and observation. Small cracks in their front may always be there. Being the center of attention and casting a shade over others in social situations, they may interrupt, cut you off, or degrade you in public. These aren't just quirks or signs of an outgoing personality, they're warning signs. The Stoics advocated for a clear-headed approach to these actions, avoiding confusion. Imagine yourself at a party where this individual is present. They are the life of the party, making jokes and keeping the crowd interested. At first, it feels great to be around them. However, as the night progresses, it becomes apparent that they are dominating every conversation. When you attempt to discuss your personal life, they swiftly shift the focus to their topic. This is where the Stoic principle of apatheia comes in. Being in a state where nothing outside of you can bother you is useful. By keeping your emotions in check, you can see through their act of charm and tell them apart. It's also important to pay attention to the self-centeredness that's going on underneath. Someone who is truly kind and caring in how they act when things don't go their way will be accepting and gracious when things go wrong or when people disagree. But someone who is just pretending to earn your trust might get angry or defensive very quickly. They could either act out or attempt to control the situation through manipulation. Stoic advice says that these kinds of responses are clear signs of a lack of positive character. Marcus Aurelius tells us to be careful around people who seem angry or trying to trick us. People who are reasonable and decent don't act like this. The important thing is to take your time and go with your gut. The Stoics thought that observing things could help you make decisions, and how important it is not to judge someone right away based on their first thoughts. Epictetus taught that we should check out the people we let into our close circle very carefully. So if someone seems too good to be true, give yourself time to watch what they do. See how they treat others over time, especially when no one is looking. How someone acts when they're not trying to impress others shows what kind of person they are. Keep in mind that not everyone who seems charming and attractive is honest. Some people use their charm to get what they want, so stay centered and aware. Stick to what you know to keep yourself from falling for a fake front. Following the Stoic ideas of wisdom and judgment will help you more. To handle these tricky social situations, another important sign to watch out for is a lack of understanding, which refers to an inability to comprehend. Understanding the emotions of others allows us to build stronger relationships with those around us, to help people when they need it, and to build ties that matter. There are, however, people who don't seem to have this important human trait at all. These individuals don't give a damn about the impact their words or actions have on others. The Stoics thought that people who are angry or upset can hurt those around them very badly. Marcus Aurelius talked about how important compassion and understanding are as basic values. People often discuss the interconnectedness of people and the significance of caring for others' well-being as part of our own health. So when we come across someone who clearly doesn't care for other people's feelings, it's a big red flag. Let's say you're sharing something. It is truly personal when you are with a friend whom you want to help or understand. Instead of caring, they ignore your feelings or mock your vulnerability. It's not just them, but this misunderstanding can leave you feeling alone. They don't support you during difficult times, nor do they participate in your joy. Someone who doesn't care about you won't cheer for your wins or acknowledge them. They might even put them down or take credit for this behavior. This isn't just true in human relationships. Consider a boss who pushes their workers to the limit. If they don't care about their health, they may expect long hours without receiving fair pay. Don't respect employees' requests for time off or publicly criticize them in a way that aims to hurt them. This leads to an unhealthy workplace environment and a sense of inadequacy among employees. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace when we feel undervalued and anxious. For honesty and integrity in these scenarios, knowing that other people don't understand is a sign of their character, not ours. Also, not having understanding can cause people who can't relate to others to take more dangerous actions that are just plain mean or don't feel any regret or guilt. Without giving it a second thought, they might lie, cheat, or even hurt others. The Stoic philosopher Seneca stressed how important it was for people to think about the pain they were causing. Our actions should always reflect our inner goodness. Empathy fundamentally separates people from these ideals. Smaller, more commonplace situations can also reveal a lack of understanding. It's possible that someone constantly cuts people off to talk about themselves. I am not interested in what other people have to say or willing to help when it's clear that they need it. It may seem like these are small annoyances at first, but they add up to a pattern of behavior. That shows a greater problem. The Stoics would tell us to pay attention. And the smart awareness that these little things show what kind of person someone really is. Limits are important when dealing with someone who doesn't care constantly. The Stoics believed that safeguarding one's own mental and emotional well-being was crucial. Taking care of our own health and not letting other people's bad moods ruin our peace is important. You have the right to stay away from people who make you feel unwell and drain your energy. Using lies to get what they want is another major sign of a bad person. Manipulation or clever ways to trick or control other people so they get what they want. It's a cunning, subtle behavior that has the potential to cause significant harm to those it targets. Manipulators are effective at changing things so that you question what you know to be true, and changing your mind to fit their wants, which can make you feel lost. If you feel helpless and unsure of your own judgment, let's talk about influence. From a Stoic perspective, the Stoics valued the capacity for clear thinking and seeing things for what they really are. They told us that our thoughts should be based on facts. We should adhere to our beliefs regardless of external influences. When someone tries to control you, they are trying to change how you see things and what is real. It's challenging for you to maintain these strong beliefs. Gaslighting is a common way for manipulators to get what they want from you. If they believe you're not remembering things or that you're crazy, they might claim that certain things never happened. That is, they might twist what you say and do to make you feel guilty. Let's say you talk to a friend about something upsetting they said. Instead of letting it go, the other person might accuse you of being too emotional or forgetting what happened. This can make you lose faith in yourself and depend on the manipulator's account of events. Manipulators are also good at making you feel like a victim, so they might guilt-trip you. Making you feel responsible for their happiness can push you to do things you don't want to do. Or health. You may have a friend who always talks about their problems. People always want you to drop everything to help them, but they're never there for you in return. They might say things like, "If you were my friend, you'd do this for me," making you feel like you have to follow what the Stoics, especially Epictetus, said. Explain the importance of knowing what we can and can't control. We can only change how we react to other people, not what they do or how they feel. Consider how manipulative people use charm or praise to get what they want. At first, this might feel great. They might thank you a lot and make you feel important, but after a while, you may notice that their praise comes with conditions. People may compliment you when they want or need something from you. This can make you feel like you owe them or must meet their standards to keep their support. The Stoics taught us that ethics and self-worth come from inside. Not from the short-lived acceptance of others. Manipulation can also come in the form of being alone. That person might attempt to isolate you from your family and friends in order to increase your reliance on them. They could say your family and friends don't understand or care about you like I do. This increases your dependence on them, making it easier for them to control you. The Stoics thought that staying strong was important for support and approval, having supportive ties with other people, and understanding that we are social beings who do best in groups. Isolation goes against these ideas because it makes our support network weaker. This increases our susceptibility to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another method bad people use. They could borrow money and not pay it back, or they could control your money to keep you from being independent. One partner might demand control of the relationship's finances. This power over money means you have to ask for permission to spend anything, can make it hard for you to end the relationship or stand up for yourself. The Stoics would tell us to try to be self-sufficient and independent so that we don't let other people affect us too much. Or being controlled by people who know what trickery is. Stoics teach us that it can be difficult, particularly if you care deeply about the person in question, to be alert and wise so that you can see things clearly and do the right thing. If you think someone is trying to trick you, step back and look at the scenario without bias. Do they always put their own wants ahead of yours? Do they make you feel bad? Are they attempting to control certain aspects of your life, or are they attempting to isolate you from others? Stand firm against those who try to control you. Make your point of what you will and will not accept very clearly and firmly. Remember that you have the right to think, feel, and act as you please. The Stoics say this: we can't change how other people act, but we can change how we react. With inner strength and understanding, we can keep ourselves safe from manipulation, stay true to our beliefs, and avoid the bad effects of manipulation. Controlling people don't just have tastes or quirks. This is a clear sign of evil. The story is about someone who wants to control your life, leaving you little room. People who are in charge of their own autonomy and choices often behave in a way that appears to show concern. It's not about love or care, but about power and control. The Stoics, who regarded personal, This behavior goes against freedom and self-control in a basic way. Controlling behavior can show up in many ways when it comes to having a good life. For example, you may have a friend who always tells you where to go. What you do together might seem harmless at first, but over time you start to see. They might say that your choices and views are always ignored or written over. You'll have more fun if you just listen to me for our sake. Instead of making decisions together, one person is forcing their will on another. Controlling behavior is even more dangerous in relationships where one person may always know where you are. They need to know what you're doing at all times, including who you can and cannot see. They could view all of your texts on your phone or request access to all of your passwords. This kind of surveillance and micromanagement can make you feel anxious and trapped. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the significance of maintaining a cautious stance to prevent conflict. How important it is to keep your own inner freedom and independence, no matter what other people say. Control can also come from a partner or family member who changes your finances without your permission. They may be in charge of all financial matters and distribute money as they see fit. Making you rely on them for money, they might say, "I handle the money." Perhaps it's because you're not good with money, or perhaps it's because I can handle everything easily. This can make it difficult to leave the relationship and may take away your financial independence or make your own decisions. The Stoics believed in being self-sufficient and smartly using your own resources. Viewing power over money as a form of slavery requires resistance. Leaving a controlling person alone is another indication of their controlling behavior. Individuals who claim to be the only ones who truly comprehend your situation may attempt to isolate you from your family and friends. If someone truly cares about you, they might say hurtful things about your family and friends. Your family is bad, or your friends don't care about you. Over time, you may become more and more alone, depending only on the Stoics' understanding that a controlling person lacks support and friendship, how important community and helpful connections are, and how harmful isolation is. Control people who are harmful to their own growth and health. People often use fear and threats to stay in power. For example, they might say they'll leave you. If you don't follow their instructions, they will injure themselves or even you. This instills fear and anxiety in people, thereby hindering their ability to think clearly. Or, as the Stoics, particularly Seneca, advised, choose what's best for you. It taught us to face our fears and not let other people scare us into giving up. It takes real bravery and smarts to stand firm in the face of such dangers and take back our power. As you read this, keep in mind that controlling behavior isn't just about getting things done. It makes decision-making harder. The Stoics would tell us to recognize these actions and live our own lives, because that's what they are, an attack on our freedom and liberty. By staying true to our ideals and keeping our inner strength, we can stand up to people who try to control us and get back our freedom to live as we please. If you come across someone, whoever acts dominating, it's important to set clear limits and stand up for your own rights. Say what you need and can't do and ask for help. Who knows what you're going through? Remember that the Stoics taught us that we can't control other people. Staying true to our values lets us control our actions. By respecting our own freedom, we can keep ourselves safe from the adverse results of behavior control and living more real, happy lives. Pathological lying is another clear sign of a negative person. This extends beyond the common misconception that pathological liars frequently tell white lies. Often for no clear reason, they make up lies and change the facts, and change the truth to get what they want or to get an edge over others. This type of behavior can significantly damage relationships by undermining trust. Stoics valued truth above lying and creating a complex web of lies that is difficult to unravel, and honesty above all else. They thought that living a good life was based on being honest. Marcus Aurelius stressed that lying was a major rejection of one's character. To live in harmony with nature, our deeds must be in line with truth and reason. When someone lies all the time, they are living in direct conflict with these rules. Pathological lying comes in many forms, but the main one is making up a false world that only helps themselves. It could begin with minor deceptions that appear harmless, such as fabricating details about a narrative. They tell lies to make themselves look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies can get worse. They cover up crimes or mistakes and use others to achieve their goals. Someone who is a compulsive liar might lie about things they haven't done, take credit for others' work, or lie about their past to make people feel sorry for or admire them. People who lie all the time give a skewed picture of reality, making it impossible to know what is real. Consider the actions of a compulsive liar. At work, they might lie about their credentials or overestimate how much they helped with projects, or spread stories about co-workers that aren't true to hurt them. This can make the workplace dangerous, where people don't trust each other and are always on edge, not knowing who to believe. The Stoics said that we should stay true to ourselves and not let others change who we are. Epictetus taught us not to let the dishonest actions of others affect us, and instead to concentrate on what we can manage. We can think and act as we please without being affected by the dishonesty of those around us. Pathological lies can significantly worsen relationships. Can you imagine being with someone who lies all the time about where they are? This behavior can make you feel unsafe because of their past or how they feel. If you're constantly worrying and questioning your thoughts, you may begin to doubt your memory or question your gut, which is exactly what the liar wants. They love making things confusing and unstable, so you can't keep your balance. Stoics would tell us to trust our own judgment so they could stay in charge. Avoid letting the tricks of others affect you. Seneca taught that real peace comes from inside. We should not allow the lies of others to interfere with our inner peace. One of the sneakiest things about pathological lying is that it's not always simple to spot. Pathological liars can appear convincing when they lie confidently and in detail. It's hard not to believe them, and they might tell some lies along with the truth, making it even harder. This is where the Stoic concept of vigilance comes into play. To figure out what's real, we need to keep an open mind and not just accept things at face value, but instead looking for the truth through careful thought and proof. Observe their behavior when confronted with a lie. Do they get defensive or angry? Do they try to blame you instead of them? Or do they really give a good reason? That makes sense, even if it's just another way to lie. A real person will own up to their mistakes. Pathological liars will keep telling lies, while honest people will try to fix them. The Stoics would advise us to weave an even more intricate web of lies. When people act in this way, to stay calm and sensible and see it for what it is, it's important to think about the long-term effects of pathological lies and not let it bother us. Over time, it can erode trust, the foundation of every relationship. After losing trust, it's difficult to regain it, so you might always be wary. If you always feel like someone is lying to you, it can turn into a vicious circle of mistrust and anger. The Stoics thought it was important to have good, honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. When working with someone who lies all the time, you need to decide if it's better to let go of that trust or try to rebuild it. Getting away from a pathological lie is important if you find yourself in a situation with one. You need to set clear limits and look out for your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics said that we should stay true to our own ideals and principles and not let ourselves. Don't let other people's falsehoods bring you down. Clearly state what you will and will not support. Don't be afraid to leave a lie-filled relationship or position. Your honesty and peace of mind matter more than staying in touch. With someone who lies to you all the time, how can you protect yourself from these bad habits while keeping your peace and being honest? One of the most important skills you can learn to deal with difficult or toxic people is how to set limits. Setting relationship limits means being clear about what you won't tolerate. You must take these steps to safeguard your physical, mental, and social well-being. The Stoics, who stress how important it is to be honest and at peace with yourself. Setting limits is a crucial habit for living a good and peaceful life. To begin, it's important to understand that having limits does not mean being mean. It's about treating yourself with care and making sure others do the same. The Stoics also thought it was important to respect ourselves and live in harmony with our true selves. Not only do clear limits keep you safe, they also help people be healthier. When it comes to setting limits with other people, being clear is very important. That person needs to know exactly what actions you will not accept and to express them in a firm and clear manner. Suppose you have a friend who constantly puts you down or belittles you. You could say, "Although I value our company, I will not stand for rude behavior from you. If this keeps up, I'll have to step back." This way of talking is straight. Stoic ideas say that this kind of clear communication leaves no room for misunderstanding and is always the same. Another important thing is that it helps keep relationships in order and respectful. Setting limits requires consistency. Stating your limits just once is insufficient. You must constantly establish unambiguous boundaries if you want others to adhere to them without prompting. Despite the challenges and discomforts, the Stoics, particularly Epictetus, hold firm to your limits will help you stress how important discipline and persistence are. If someone repeatedly crosses your limits, you show them how to treat you and respect yourself. This shows that they don't respect you or your boundaries, so you may need to act. To look at the connection again, it's also important to keep in mind that setting limits is not a one-time thing, but a process that goes on as relationships change. There may be times when you need to change your limits, like at work. You might need to place restrictions on your availability and tasks to prevent burnout. Someone you work with or your boss could hear you and say, "I'm happy to help with this project. However, I am unable to add any additional tasks to my existing workload." The Stoics would tell us to keep our responsibilities in check and not take on too much. One of the hardest things about setting limits is saying no to people who hurt our health. People who are used to getting their way might push back or refuse to go along with your plans. Some people, especially those who are dominating or manipulative, might not like it. When they see your boldness, they may get angry or guilty. Stoics teach us to stay calm and strong when someone upsets us or even tries to make us doubt ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it's important to keep our cool when we face problems like these, and not letting other people's bad feelings get in the way when you face pushback. Remember that your limits are important for your health. Stay firm. In some situations, having limits could mean doing something hard, like pulling away from some people or even ending relationships that are harmful or toxic. As painful as it may be, this process is necessary to protect your mental and physical health. The Stoics would tell us that our main duty is to keep ourselves good and health. Seneca often talked about how important it is to pick our friends and family carefully, realizing that the people we hang out with can have a big effect on our character. Get peace of mind and happiness by staying away from people who constantly break your rules. You are sending a strong message about how much you value yourself and your resolve to live a positive life. Setting limits is also easier when you have help from other people. This could mean talking to trusted friends, telling a doctor or family member about your problems and receiving their advice and support can be beneficial. Sharing your successes and failures while setting boundaries can help you see things more clearly and make your commitment stronger. The Stoics cared about community. Marcus Aurelius often considered seeking assistance from those who shared his views on how everyone is linked and how important it is to help each other by leaning on your support network. You can find the strength to follow your rules and stay healthy. It's also important to take care of yourself when setting and keeping limits. This means taking time for yourself and doing things that make you happy. The Stoics believed in rest, relaxing, and taking care of your physical and mental health. I felt that taking care of yourself was important for living a good life. Epictetus, for instance, stressed how important it was to take care of our own health, so that we can help others and do our jobs well. You send the word that your health is important by putting yourself first. Set limits for yourself out of respect for yourself. You deserve to be safe. Self-love means understanding your own worth and not letting other people take it away. The Stoics teach us that our worth is not based on what other people think of us, but on what we do and how honest we are. You are living by these ideas when you set and stick to boundaries. Remember to encourage a life of peace, virtue, and strength. No matter who tries to hurt your peace and honor, you should protect them. Setting limits isn't just a way to protect yourself. It's also a statement of how much you value yourself. I promise to live a good life. Thanks for being here with me today. Participate in the discussion. Click on the screen to see more. Stay strong, stay smart, and keep living your truth.